Attention, please. The show starts in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. How's everyone doing tonight? I always like to play with that introduction every now and then. I don't get to use it too often. So I'm feeling a little good today. We had a great show before we came here, ladies and gentlemen. Came get out in the lobby here. And we talked about the brokerage and the clients and the customers that we were handling this week, how we're representing buyers, how we're representing sellers, how we're running a real estate business. And pretty good show. So that's called Success in Real Estate, that show that we do at 5 o'clock on Monday. So this show that you're watching is a private show that we offer to our future students who would like to consider a career in real estate. So we offer this little private class to our future students so they can get a chance to interview, see the instructor, the style, the teaching, some of the subjects that you're going to be exposed to, and what it looks like. So in the class, it's a live streaming class, ladies and gentlemen. So you would actually be in the class with me. It almost sounded like I had some students coming in. I'm like, huh, participants, any participants? But in any event, you would be a participant in this right now, ladies and gentlemen. So you would be in my class and you would be there. You would be able to talk to me, ask me questions, speak with me just like you're doing right now, except you're not in my classroom right now. You're viewing the classroom, but you're not in my classroom. But once you sign up, you will be in the classroom. I'll be your instructor and giving you your lessons in many different ways, so that it solidifies in your long-term memory so that you're able to retrieve it later on down the line, and in life, it'll make you advanced, cognitive enhancer. We're not taking any kind of nootropics here, but in any event, we are doing an exercise that will improve your long-term memory, how to cross over the hemisphere, the brain hemisphere from the right to the left hemisphere, and so forth. So we talk about these things in the class so that when you come to our class, not only are you going to be learning real estate fundamental practice, but you're going to be able to learn it in such a way where you're immediately applying it to little scenarios in your mind, helping mom out with the property, helping your brother out, helping a neighbor out. Somebody wants to buy a property, somebody wants to sell a property. So since you already are familiar with the scenarios of somebody wanting to buy or sell, and you would love to be able to help them, when you're in my class starting to learn these things, you start applying these new lessons that you're learning to these scenarios. And so that's what really increases the learning curve when you're able to take the lessons and literally apply them in your mind into a certain situation where you're already packaging a deal. You're already putting it together so that you can make it happen for the buyer, you can make it happen for the seller. And so running a real estate business is literally making a lot of people happy on a daily basis and making a lot of money, compensation. Once you have a real estate license, then you are allowed to receive compensation for your services, but you're not allowed to receive compensation when you do for others in the real estate business without a real estate license. You're not allowed to charge. You're not allowed to receive compensation. It's criminal. It's actually criminal. We'll talk about it. Where you're practicing real estate without a license. You're not allowed to practice medical without a license. You're not allowed to practice law without a license, and you're not allowed to practice real estate without a license. So one of the reasons that you have to take a state mandated class is to understand what you can do legally and what you cannot do, how you can represent, how you cannot, what you can say, what you cannot say, what you can do, what you cannot do. And so if you want to become a real estate investor, then taking this class first before anything else is a great platform, a great foundation to start with, because now you're learning what you can and cannot do legally, ethically, by state requirement. So if you want to learn real estate, then it's always good to learn real estate from the state point of view, from the state perspective, from a licensing point of view. This way here, it's not an investment class where they give you techniques. The mashed potato and hamburger technique. Yoo-hoo! The broken egg yolk technique. I don't know what the hell that's all about, ladies and gentlemen. But in any event, when you take investment courses, learn how to invest in real estate, stocks, bonds, gold, the whole nine yards. It gets to be a little bit too much, the 9 yards. You like to do it 1 yard at a time, not the whole 9 yards. And so that is why I recommend taking a state mandated class. Doesn't have to be my class. A state mandated class that has good reference, good reviews from the students, and the students were very happy with the platform and the learning curve, that what they achieved out of the class. That's why I'm very proud of my reviews, ladies and gentlemen. They're all legit. They're all my past students, and they're all very happy with the platform. And some of them are making a lot of money in the business today. Very proud of them. Very proud of all my students. So that's what this class is all about, that I do every Monday, to try to give you a little bit of me, because I'm going to be your instructor. Is my personality working for you? Am I too slow, too fast, too slick, too dull? So if in your review process, as you're trying to decide which school to go to, I offer this advantage to add to your arsenal of resource to try to make a better informed decision about which school that you want to go to, because it is an investment, and you don't want to invest the money into a school that's not going to give you the benefits that you're looking for. And I always say to this, my students, I don't want to deprive you of the education that we're paying for, so don't do any shortcuts. It's not about getting out early. It's about you getting what you're paying for. And I certainly don't want to be the one to deprive you of the education that you are paying for. So when you come to our class, we want to make sure that you're getting everything that you are paying for. But ladies and gentlemen, let's talk about a little bit of realistic reality, um, and the way that you're going to be viewed after your efforts. So you want to get a real estate license, and you are naturally, as a biological American human being, and I say American because of effort in, effort out. As Americans, we always like to take the road of least resistance. We like to take a shortcut. We like to get there quickly. We like to get paid before we work, and we like to get to the finish line before we get to the starting line. So what we look for is quick classes. What's the easiest and the quickest way to get my real estate license? That's going to cost you in the long run, ladies and gentlemen. It's going to cost you big time. When a broker or an employer asks you one of the first questions, because you're a brand new agent, you haven't worked anywhere, they're going to ask you, where did you get your license? What school did you go to? And when you tell them that you took an online course, that's the first thing you'll see shoulders drop. Oh, an online course, really? That's how you got your real estate license? So that means you know very little about real estate, because what you did was teach yourself what the PDF and the class tried to teach you. But it's a different language. Real estate's a different language. And if you don't understand the real estate language, then how are you learning real estate? So what the instructor or what the employer or broker knows at this stage of the game, that you took an online course, you test well. That's what we determine by this interview. You test well. So what did you do? All C's all the way down the line, and just by chance it was enough C's that you passed. So you test well because you took an online course, but you certainly could not have possibly learned real estate, not to the extent where you would be of value to me as a broker hiring you. So first understand that an online course is not really looked upon highly by employers and brokers. And there's the reason I just explained. The second thing that brokers and employers don't really look highly on is the exemplary class, the 3-week class. Ooh, you went to the 3-week class? How much real estate did you learn in 3 weeks? And you want to work here? Yes. We got a problem. I'm going to have to put a lot of work into you because you failed to get the education that you need to be a good real estate agent because you took an exemplary 3-week class. What the 3-week class could do for you at best, is cram all this information in, is to try to prep you to pass an exam. That's the best thing that a 3-week class is going to be able to do for you. And that's really all they're designed to do. After all, ladies and gentlemen, fair is fair. It is a real estate school to prep you to pass a real estate exam. That is what it's designed for. So you could take a 3-week class and maybe pass the state exam first, second, third try. But once again, you still have to go after you get that license and tell your broker, your employer, that you took a 3-week class to become a licensed real estate agent. Once again, that's going to hurt you in your negotiating skills with the broker when they ask you how did you become a real estate agent? You took an online course. I guarantee you the online course did not teach you how to negotiate with this broker right now at this moment. The online course did not do that. So you have no idea what question, and you have no idea about the interview. See, that's the other thing we'll teach you in my school, that when you interview a broker, you're not interviewing for a job. You're interviewing for a business relationship. You're going to be an independent contractor. You're going to be a real estate agent, a licensed real estate professional. So you're bringing your professional license to a broker, and that broker is supposed to have a platform to help you run your business, your new real estate business, and teach you exactly how to promote and bring that business. And so our last show, issrealty.com, is a brokerage that I own so that when my students are done in class, they have a choice to go to, and they understand that when they interview the brokers now, they're not interviewing the brokers for the job, they're interviewing the brokers to see what the brokers can give them to help them run their new business. And so a lot of brokers are not designed for this, ladies and gentlemen. They're designed to be brokerage. They're not designed to know how to run a business. So when a lot of brokers hire new agents, they expect the agents to know what they're doing. They expect the agents to just go out and do it and just share a little bit of love by a breakdown in the commission to the broker. But when I teach you how to interview brokers, we're going to be learning what to be asking, how to do the interview process, because you never interviewed to be a real estate agent before. They don't teach you that in the class, not on an online class anyway. And I assure you, there's not enough time in a 3-week class to teach you how to run a business, to teach you how to negotiate with the broker, to teach you how to invest in property. There's just not enough time in a 3-week class to do that. So the 3-week class is going to teach you how to pass an exam. Now, after you pass the exam, should you be fortunate enough to do so, you got to learn all this on the job training as you go along. You got to learn how to interview a broker, what to say, what to do. You got to learn how to run a real estate business. You had no training, and you're now hoping that the broker that you get hired by is going to give you all this training, all this education. And it doesn't happen. Doesn't happen. And so having a brokerage that is designed for brand new agents or agents that have been licensed for years but ain't doing no business because you don't know how to run a real estate business, we are designed for that. So it's a school, it's a continuing education school after a school. So we're not allowed inside the classroom. We're not allowed to do any recruiting or steering or persuading you. We got to teach you, but this is not a state mandated show that I'm doing right now. This is a prelude to attending a state mandated class. And so becoming a licensed real estate agent, you do have to take the 75-hour state mandated class that the state requires of real estate practice and real estate fundamentals. Now, what is real estate practice? What is real estate fundamentals? Well, real estate fundamentals is the legal stuff, the law, federal law, state law, local law. And so as a licensed real estate agent running a business in the state of Pennsylvania, you have to understand what licenses you're going to need for the businesses, what requirements you need to know in order to maintain, keep, and continue your license, and what laws apply, like fair housing laws, the American Disability Act, and so forth. Non-discrimination, fiduciary responsibilities, contract law, agency law, and zoning laws. So there's a lot of laws that go with the real estate, and the state needs to make sure that you understand the federal laws that are involved in real estate, the state laws that are involved in real estate, and the local laws that are involved with real estate. There's no way that you can be involved in real estate if you don't have the fundamental understanding of the platform, that everything starts from a legal perspective. Everything we have to do has to be done legally, has to comply with legal and ethical requirements. So the state wants to make sure that you understand real estate fundamentals, the basic legal aspect of real estate. And so when you're representing a buyer and a seller, you need to have this fundamental understanding so that you guide your client in the right direction so that they do everything legally and compliantly to get to the finish line. And so understanding real estate fundamentals and the requirements that federal law puts on place in this, protected classes, we'll talk about that, 62 and over, 40 and over, 55 and over community, which one's protected, which one's not, and so forth. What's discrimination, what could be discriminated, what not, all right? Fair housing laws, and so forth. American Disability Act. So all these things come into play when you are involved in real estate, whether you're selling real estate, owning real estate, managing real estate, developing real estate, whatever the situation may be, you have to have these basic understanding. So this is a very good class to start your real estate journey, to have this basic fundamental of the law, to know what you can and can't do. This way here, you can't be suckered. So when you have these basic understanding of what you can and can't do, you can't be hustled in another real estate course that's trying to sell you investment when you automatically know the title company won't allow that. The lender won't allow that. The state won't allow that. So now you know that the course is not compliant, this little investment class that you just are about to invest in, because you took this class and got the fundamental understanding of what you can and can't do legally, then you can't get suckered by a get rich quick investment class because you had this general knowledge. So that's real estate fundamental, where we talked about the legal aspects of real estate. The real estate practice and fundamentals. The real estate practice is you running your business, you being a what we call sub-agent. I'm sorry, not a sub-agent, independent contractor. Sub-agency is illegal, by the way, in the state of Pennsylvania. We'll talk about that later in the class, but an independent contractor. And as an independent contractor, you're not going to have a boss. You're not going to be an employee. You could, we could talk about that. But if you go to work for a brokerage, then chances are you're going to be an independent contractor. But if you're going to be a property manager, you might be an employee, not an independent contractor. So we'll talk about your options and the avenues that you would have, the choices you would have once you become a licensed real estate professional. But the practice of real estate is holding your client's hand, taking them through the property, getting them approved for the mortgage, explaining the process to them from the beginning to end, explaining the contract, representing them, negotiating terms and prices for your client. So real estate practice is you running your business by representing buyers and sellers in the real estate business. So we got fundamentals, understanding what you can and cannot do. Everything has to be done legally. And the practice is you taking that knowledge of what we can and can't do and helping others in the process to buy a property, sell a property, rent a property, rent out a property, invest in property, manage property, develop property. So now you have all this knowledge that you can apply to your real estate business, and you could be a real estate investor, or you could be a real estate representative. Either way, you're in the real estate business. And now you can take these principles of real estate practice and fundamentals and apply them to your investment, your real estate business, and have a much better outcome where you don't have to worry about getting burned or losing money, because knowledge is power. And so having this knowledge of real estate through this required state course is an absolute paramount beginning for anybody. I don't care if you're 18 years old coming right out of high school, or you're 62 and enjoying the golden years, because 62 is not old. I didn't say that. I'm saying 62 is a protected class of retirement age. We'll talk about that in the real estate class. So it's a protected class, 62 and over. And so you're not down. We have centurions, people living to 112 years old, ladies and gentlemen, 119 years old. I think was the oldest one, just passed away at 119. Don't quote me, 114, 115, 119, something like that. But it was good, astronomical. So these are both centurions, people who live over 100 years. So being 60 and 70 and 80 really doesn't quite tip being old today. You're as old as you feel, though, naturally. I know people who are in their 40s and they might as well be in their 80s. I know people who are in their 70s and they might as well be in their 40s, so it depends on you, your stigma, your ability. Some people love misery. Misery loves company. Some people always love feeling sorry for themselves. Some people are just good at finding excuses as to why they cannot achieve anything in life. And there's nothing you can do about that. That's what they're good at. They're good at feeling sorry for themselves. They're good at accomplishing nothing, and they're good at coming up with excuses as to why they are underachievers and not overachievers. To each their own. It's to each their own. Not everybody wants to be an overachiever. Nope, not everybody wants to be successful. Some people are happy just floating, just riding the tide. Whatever happens today, bro, that's fine by me. It's always tomorrow. So to each their own, ladies and gentlemen. But if you're looking to take this real estate class, then you have what we call the entrepreneur blood pumping through your veins. You're already an overachiever. So by nature, if you were even thinking about going into a real estate class to get a real estate license, then by nature, you are an overachiever. You are an entrepreneur. You're good at helping other people with their problems. Not so good at helping yourself, your own problems, but you're good at helping other people with their problems. And you're also good at procrastinating, which is why you have still not gone to a class to get this real estate license, because you're good at procrastination. And that's an entrepreneurial trait, by the way, ladies and gentlemen. So if you're an entrepreneur, it is a natural trait that we're not good at helping ourselves with our problems, but we're good at helping others. And we are great at procrastinating. We're great at putting things off because we're always looking for the prime optimal time. It's not right. It's not right. Now's not the time. I got the kids. I got the job. I got this. I got that. It's not right. And so we're good at that, putting that off. But we're also good at scolding ourselves after we get our accomplishment done, saying, darn it, I wish I would have done this earlier. What was I waiting for? Why did I put it off? It's just that entrepreneurial spirit. It's one of the flaws that we have as well, ladies and gentlemen. So if you can get around that and overcome that hurdle and get into the class and get this real estate and all the education that I'm going to supply you, it is going to change your world, ladies and gentlemen. It's going to change your life, and it's going to change your future and your outlook as well. Read my reviews, ladies and gentlemen. See, I'm going to have many guest speakers. I know I keep saying it, but my guest speakers always seem to get cold feet at the last minute, or don't take my Zoom. So sometimes I'm left here. Sometimes I'll interview, and that's another thing. I advertise when I have a guest speaker, be sure to say, and then my guest speaker doesn't show up. And so now I'm left with egg on my face and a lot of people. So I'm always here, ladies and gentlemen. You can always count on me. All right. So I'm always here. So once again, ladies and gentlemen, who am I? My name is Warren Nelson. I'm a licensed real estate broker here in the state of Pennsylvania, a licensed real estate educator, a licensed real estate owner, among other things, ladies and gentlemen. I do have a long list of acclimates and achievements that I don't want to bore you with. But I own my own schools. I own my own brokerages. I own a lot of other companies. I'm not going to bore you with all the success and so forth. What I'm trying to say is that I am qualified to educate you to pass the real estate exam and to learn how to run a real estate business. 30 years of experience and hundreds, if not thousands, of success stories with clients and students who went on to become agents, who went on to become successful real estate entrepreneurs, and success story after success story. So I have plenty of them to share with you. So if you're looking, and I even put together this show, I even own the shows, to give you a little bit more research. How many schools let you see the instructor before you sign up? How many schools will teach you how to run a business? How many schools will teach you how to invest in property? Understand, ladies and gentlemen, the schools are designed to be there to teach you how to pass an exam. They're there to prep you to know what to expect when you take the state exam and hopefully prep you to the point where you can pass the state exam. So that's what most schools are designed to do, prep you to pass the state exam. So no fault of the school. And that's a 3-week class, ladies and gentlemen. A 3-week class will do that. It might be a little overcrunch. Some of you might not be able to handle as much knowledge as you're going to get in a short period of time. But if you are able to absorb all the knowledge that can be given to you in a short period of time, then you have a good statistical odd of passing the exam and getting a license. But unfortunately, the school did nothing to prep you from this point forward after you get your real estate license. Now, what do you do? And so our 8-week class, ladies and gentlemen, 4 weeks, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday for real estate practice, 4 weeks, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday for real estate fundamentals. Now, I say 4 weeks, because most people, as I said, you're an entrepreneur, so you're already multitasking many things as it is. Plus, you're going to squeeze in the class. And so you could only do one class. Maybe you can only do the morning class. Maybe you can only do the evening class. That's all you can do. You can squeeze it into your schedule. So if that's your situation, then it's going to be an 8-week class for you because you can only do one class, the morning class or the evening class. But if your schedule's more flexible and it'll allow you to do the morning class and the evening class, then this 8-week class could be a 4-week class. So there are different options that I give you, depending on how quick, because we still want to make things happen today. I want to be a licensed agent today. I want it now, Daddy. All right, that's from the old chocolate factory. All right. But in any event, this is true. We want success quickly. We want to be overnight stars. We want everything now. I want it now. I want it all, and I want it now. All right, that's the go. So because of that wish list of wanting it all, wanting it now, you might make a decision of taking an exemplary class that's not going to give you your money's worth. You're not going to get the education that you're paying for. And so, again, keep in mind, what was the education? You were looking for one thing, but the school was offering another thing. The school was offering to prep you to pass an exam. They weren't actually offering to teach you real estate. They were teaching you what you need to know to pass an exam. And so that's where online real estate school excels from every other school. This is what separates us from every other school. And it's designed, we were already a live streaming course before the pandemic, ladies and gentlemen. So we were already practicing live streaming. We were already taking many of our courses, not the pre-licensing. We weren't allowed to do pre-licensing live streaming prior to the pandemic. Before the pandemic, we needed a law. We needed some legislation that make things happen in order to do this pre-licensing class by a live streaming platform, distant education. But came the pandemic. And when the pandemic came, the Real Estate Commission and the governor, state legislators worked together to keep the real estate industry and the real estate educational industry alive and thriving during the pandemic. So the Real Estate Commission worked hand in hand with government officials and the governor of Pennsylvania to give us what's called waivers. And so during the pandemic, we were allowed waivers to continue educating in real estate when we didn't have to be in person. So came this live streaming platform, Zoom. But as I said, what our school excels is because we were live streaming before the pandemic. Most schools had to adapt to live streaming and don't want to, had to, so they throw it in, but it's not warm and fuzzy. It doesn't feel good. It feels very plain Jane, canvas clean, where it doesn't give you any emotion. It doesn't give you the feeling that you're learning anything. Because the Zoom platform is designed as a necessity. They had to do it in order to stay in business. We designed ours and not as a necessity, but as a curriculum so that our students really get the education that they need. So we were ahead of the curve. So we already had our live streaming platform. And this is why when you read our reviews, and I'm very proud of our reviews, they're all real reviews, all students. The students love the platform. They love the curve, the ability, even with language barriers. We have many of our students, Asian Americans, European, and African continent, and they believe that their language or their lack of the ability to understand English as well as others would hold them back. But you'll see in my class that the language barriers are not as much of a detriment to you as you originally believed it would be. As a matter of fact, being multilingual in the real estate business is an absolute asset. And so coming to our class, because we are very repetitive, because we take the lessons and we do the lessons over and over and over again, even if you have a slight language barrier, the way that our curriculum is designed, it forces you to learn. We give you the homework assignments for the memory course. The way the course is designed, we take you into the courtroom, we take you into the house, we take you onto the scene to show you exactly how the process works. So not only are you learning how the process works so that you can pass an exam, you're also learning how to apply these principles to a business that you're soon going to be running. And so we designed this show, Online Real Estate School, for those who are searching for a new journey in real estate, those who have a passion, a desire, and some kind of direction, something's leading them into the real estate arena. Then we designed this class, this show, to let you know that our school offers so much more than an average real estate school teaching pre-licensing. And this is, it's a community too, ladies and gentlemen. Once you pay for our class, this is your alma mater. You never have to pay for the class again. You can come back to the class over and over and over again 100 times until you have the confidence that you feel is required for you. But the good thing is you can come back to class over and over again. You never have to pay for it. I'm one of the only schools that offers this, ladies and gentlemen. And why? Because it's not an in-person class. If I can only had seating arrangement for 30 students, would I be able to offer that availability to come back over and over again? I would have to say if there are available seats, you can come back. But because we have this platform that makes the learning so intertwined, so interactive, so lively, and it makes you want to come back to the class over and over again. We have many students, some who already passed their transcripts, already done, but still love coming back to the class for the environment, for the camaraderie, and for the lessons that they're getting, and for the confidence that builds them. So that's the great thing about our school, ladies and gentlemen, that it is a campus, it is a community, it is a continuing educating learning curve. And then we take our students from the classroom right into the real world arena as another stage of learning how to run a business and how to be very successful. Again, you got to be careful because sometimes it sounds like it's recruiting, but we teach you how to interview 4, 5, 6 different brokers and why you make a choice with a broker. And we talk about this in the class. One might love the ambiance. You might be a new agent and you're looking for a real estate office that is all beautiful marble, beautiful work, the whole build. And you love that way your picture is going to look with this as a background. So this particular real estate agent is looking for ambiance, the beautiful office to work with. Another agent might be looking for money. I want as much money as I could possibly make, and I'm looking for the broker who's going to give me the most. Or another broker, another real estate agent might be working with chemistry. I really only want to work with you because I feel comfortable around you. I feel that you can teach me what I need to know. So see how we had 3 different real estate students who are now agents going to work for different brokers for 3 different reasons. One like the ambiance, one like the money, one like the chemistry. So we teach you it's not just about money. So when you're interviewing brokers, what is it that you're looking for? What is it that you want from the broker that can help you in your business endeavor that you have planned? And so this is what we teach you. But whatever decision that you make, going to work with that employer to broker, then it becomes that broker or employer's job to cultivate you and teach you how to be very successful. And that's where a lot of the chemistry kind of falls apart. After the class, going to work with a broker, being stuck in a 1-year contract, or even worse, a 3-year contract, and the chemistry's not there, the broker's not keeping their promises, and now it's very disheartening. And now you don't like the real estate business because you're seeing failure in the real estate business between you and your broker on a regular basis. You don't want to do the real estate business. The chemistry's not there. Everything was a failure because of the broker you want to work for after you left the real estate class. So we teach you how to interview a broker and why you're interviewing a broker. What is it that you're looking for? The ambiance, the money, the chemistry, among other things. So we talk about these things in the class. So what we really do is we go beyond the call of duty, ladies and gentlemen, and prep our students to make sure that they understand what they need to know in order to be a successful real estate entrepreneur. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I want you to hear from some of my students. Since you are now doing some research on that. Some of you went to my website, already did some research. Some of you are waiting for the live show. After you hear from some of my students, I'll give you some real estate lessons, things that you're going to learn in the classroom. So let me share my screen with you, ladies and gentlemen, and tell me if you can hear the confidence in my students.
This school was the only school with 5-star reviews. I did a lot of research.
The information that you give us is just like amazing.
I had a family member that attended your school and they just spoke wonders about you.
I think like most of everybody in the class, it was the reviews for me.
After reading your reviews and just trusting my friend, he said, you're 100% the way to go. And I do not regret it at all whatsoever.
Your school is amazing.
I came to you, it was within my expectations.
And the broker knows like, okay, this person, wherever they're going to school at, they know what they're doing.
Once I talked to you and spoke to you, I was just like, okay, I think this is the right school.
Personally, I have a very good friend that's actually in the real estate business already a broker. He actually recommended you to be a teacher.
Like served as a mentor, just as many others have said. So it's been a pleasure. It really has.
After your classes, I become like more knowledge and it's great. It's a great job because
you care about all your students.
He's more than a teacher. He's a mentor. He's someone you look up to.
And you're a great teacher, to be honest with you. You slow down when people have a question. You review things as many times as we need you to.
But you take this time. You actually read to us to get to know and understand this. And I am so ready.
very glad that I chose your school. It's online school, so it's great for me because you don't have to travel anywhere. I just choose you, and it was it was a great time.
I thank you, and I will take this class over and over and over and over and over.
One of the best teachers ever.
This would be really good for me. And then I think what really put me in was once I talked to you on the phone.
I did see the 5-star review. I did look around a little bit.
I mentioned you and your school is like really a lot of people knows about your school.
And I was a little bit skeptical because 5-star reviews, no business, no nothing as 5-star reviews. But it worked out amazing, and I'm happy I chose this school.
But the information that you give, that you give more than a lot of teachers out there get. Oh, absolutely. I think the school actually really went beyond my expectations.
I cannot thank you enough for the experience and this preparation to run my own business.
It's like more information that you give us, the more knowledge, I just lock that into my brain, and I know I'm just going to get out there and achieve a lot of things. Working with you has been a pleasure. It really has. You served as a mentor.
And I would definitely recommend to anyone who is looking into any kind of real estate at all.
Ladies and gentlemen, onlinerealestateschool.inc.com, onlinerealestateschool.inc.com, 267-972-1084. That's my number. Leave a like, leave a comment on my social sites that you're on right now. Go to my website, onlinerealestateschool.inc.com. It will be a change on a path that you are about to take, ladies and gentlemen. And I want to wish you nothing but the best on your new journey in real estate. So, let's talk a little bit about some of the things that you're going to learn in a real estate class. We talked about fundamentals, the legal aspect of it. So let's give you a few scenarios. One of the questions that you're going to be asking or be asked is, if you buy a property today, you're a brand new owner, you just bought a property, and you get a 30-year mortgage on that property to buy this property. Do you own that property day one, or do you own that property 30 years later when you make your final payment? All right. Now, if you're saying 30 years later when you make the final payment, you would be incorrect. In the state of Pennsylvania, this is a lien theory state. The bank only has to lien against the property. You own the property day one. One of the first things I'm going to teach you is the difference between the deed, the ownership of the property, and the mortgage. Don't get the mortgage and the deed confused. They're two separate instruments. The deed says that you own the property. The mortgage says that you have a loan that you have to pay. And the mortgage is using the property that you just bought as collateral. So the bank's name's not on the deed. The bank doesn't own the property, you own it. So when you will buy a property in the state of Pennsylvania, so what? You got a 30-year mortgage. You get the deed to the property day one. Now we talk about the difference between a deed and a title. You hear deed and title all the time in the real estate business. And we don't sell property by title. We sell vehicles by title, but we sell property by deed. So what's the difference between a deed and a title? The deed is the written instrument, the bundle of legal rights, the deed, the deed, the deed. Everything that you're going to do as a real estate agent is going to start and end with the deed. So we sell property by deed. We transfer or convey or grant or escheat property by deed, but not by title. We sell vehicles by title. What is title? Title is the process of making sure the deed is good. Title search, title report, abstract the title, title insurance. So title is a process of making sure the deed is good. What are we looking for? We're looking for liens and judgments, ownership, and so forth, public records, and so forth. So we have to do a search of the deed, the title, to make sure that we can transfer the title from the seller to the buyer legally with no liens, no judgment. So we talk about the bundle of legal rights, and it starts with the deed, the deed, the deed, the deed. Now, you just learned two things in my class. You learned that if you buy a property today, you become the owner. You get the deed today if you buy the property today, not 30 years later when you make the final payment. And you also just learned the difference between deed and title. One is paper, the written instrument, the deed, how we transfer ownership, and title is a process of making sure the deed is. When do you become the owner of the property? That you become the owner of the property when you receive the deed, not when you made an offer to buy the property, not when you put money down. It's not your property. Not when you did the final walkthrough. It's not your property yet. But when you go to the settlement table and the seller hands you the deed and the keys to the property, and you give them a check or consideration for the property, then this is known as delivery and acceptance. The seller is now delivering the deed to you, the buyer. You are accepting it. And the minute that you accept this deed, you become the owner of the property at that moment there. Delivery and acceptance of the deed. And so notice that it started with the deed. The buyer had to order the title report, and now it's ending with the deed. Now, we'll talk about the deed. Who signs it? Does the buyer and the seller both sign the deed? Why does one sign? Do they both sign? If one doesn't sign, why do they not sign? So these are the things that you're going to learn in the real estate class. Is it a unilateral contract, bilateral contract? But one of the first things that you're going to be learning, that in this class, you're learning to be a real estate agent to represent others. We don't care what the property looks like as the agent. That's the buyers. The buyers can imagine what they want to do with the property. I'm going to paint the wall peach, and I'm going to put a yellow trim right there, and I'm going to have a little raft for the cats right there. So let the buyers imagine what they want to do with the property. We as the real estate agent need to make sure that the buyer can legally do what they want with the property after they buy it. And it starts with the deed, the deed, the deed, the deed. So we want to make sure that the seller is the owner of the property. They can sell it to your buyer. We want to make sure that there's no liens, no judgments against the property, so that the seller can sell the property. We want to make sure that the seller is the seller. Bob Smith Jr. is selling the property, but Bob Smith Sr. is on the deed. So we need to make sure that the seller is actually the owner of the property that can sell it to our buyer. So all these things are done in the very beginning process after our offer's been accepted to search the title to make sure that there's no liens, no judgments. Second thing that we do as a real estate agent that we're going to learn in this class is zoning law. So the buyer tells you they want to buy this single family home and turn it into a rooming house. You, the agent, would be learning in this classroom, can they do that? Can they convert a single property into a multifamily property or a mixed use property? What's involved? Can they not, or can they? So your job is to make sure that the buyer can legally do with the property what they want to do with the property if they buy it. If I told you that I want to buy a property for $200,000 and I want to convert it into a rooming house and rent out every room, and you let me buy this property knowing that I could not legally do it, not under zoning laws, I can only buy this property as a single family property and use it as a single family property, not as a rooming house. You let me do this, you let me buy this property, I'll turn around and sue you later. So to avoid being sued later, in this class, you learn what we can and can't do to prevent legal problems later on down the line by not knowing it down the line. So it's very important. If you take an exemplary class and you miss some of these legal things that you needed to know in order to run a real estate business, it could affect you down the line because you took an exemplary class in the beginning. You did not learn that. So you know what you're going to learn? You're going to learn on the job training. And when you make your mistakes on the job or you learn on the job, it can be very costly in the real estate business. So making sure that you select the school that's going to do the best job of prepping you for the arena of the real estate industry is really what you're looking for when you're doing your research, not a school that's going to teach you how to pass an exam. Also, we told you we're going to teach you the easy way of doing math, and we're going to teach you long-term memory techniques. I assure you no other school offers these two variables, ladies and gentlemen. So math is easy, and we do math in the real estate business. We're going to have an understanding of math. And most students say two things: I hate testing and I hate math. I'm not good at either. Well, we'll teach you that you already handicapped yourself by having that thinking process of I can't do, I don't do well. You're already handicapping yourself. And so we have to get you out of that thinking process. That's one of the first things that we teach you how to do, is change your thinking process. And the second thing is we show you how easy math is. Math is easy once you understand the three variables. And many of my students did not understand math ever until they came to my class. They came to my class to get a real estate license, and here they're learning math for the very first time. So we teach you the three variables and how easy math is in the class. And we also teach you the hemisphere of the brain, how the brain has the right and left hemisphere, how the brain works, and how you can train and teach the brain to help you in the long-term memory. Remembering somebody's name is crucial for business. And how often do you forget somebody's name after they mention her name? How often do you read something and after you're done reading it, you got to read it again because you don't remember what the heck you just read, because you are programmed and designed to use short-term memory. You are less successful in life because short-term memory is going to escape us. Let me prove it to you. I just did. I gave you two scenarios where you couldn't remember somebody's name, or you couldn't remember what you just read because you're relying on short-term memory. But when you start taking an exam, or when you start testing, or you're on the spot and you can't think of what you want to say. You know what you want to say, but you just can't think of the word. Or what was that again? What was that? I can't remember. That's because at this stage of the game, you're relying on short-term memory. And short-term memory is going to escape you. It's going to disappoint you. It's going to let you down. And you're going to be a little upset. So we teach you long-term memory in our class, which immensely improves your odds all the way around. It improves your odds of passing the exam, and it improves your odds of being successful in life by having the ability to have long-term memory. Short-term memory is going to escape you. It's good for an hour, a day, a week, a month, but once it's gone, it's gone. It's gone out of the brain. But long-term memory is compartmentalized. It's like a filing cabinet. You can literally pull it out, and there's the answer because of a series of events like word association and so forth that makes it easy for you to remember. All right. And so we talk about these things in our class that no other school offers. So these techniques that we give you on improving your long-term memory is going to pay dividends for you all the way through life. So it's an investment, and it's difficult to get people to invest in themselves, especially working with entrepreneurs, because again, as I said, we're already procrastinators. We're already used to putting things off. We're got that entrepreneur blood going through our veins. We are overachievers. We're good at helping other people with their problems, but we're not good at helping ourselves with our own problems. And we have a tendency of procrastinating. We're very good at excuses. And so we're always looking for the right time. It's got to be perfect. I can't get the license now. I can't go to class now. Kids, I got the kids, I got the job, I got travel, I got this, I got that. There's always an excuse as to why I won't invest in myself and get that education that I know which will propel me and make life easy. Why? Because I'm my own worst enemy. I got to make life hard for myself. So I hide behind excuses, and it gives me the lack of production that I would like to have, but it gives me a lot of good excuses as to why I'm not productive. So I'm good at that. So that is an entrepreneur trait, a little skills, a little gift that we have. It's a gift, it's a curse. And so understand that the only thing I can't do is to get you to invest in you. To get you. You know what's funny? It's $299 for real estate practice, $299 for real estate fundamentals. Now, I might not be the cheapest, but I'm offering way more than any other school any damn way. And so by no means would I want to be the cheapest. As I said, I'm not going to deprive you of the education that you're paying for, nor am I working for free because I'm going to be giving you a lot of education. So if you consider what I'm going to be giving you in the class, the $299, it's not expensive. But here's my little pet peeve. It's hard for me to get you to invest $299 in yourself. But watch how fast I can get you to drop $299 in a slot machine in a casino. Watch how fast you could do that and have nothing to show for it. And that is the way that the brain works. It's the way our psychology works, ladies and gentlemen. So you will give me analysis paralysis as to why you don't want to drop $399 on yourself, $299, $598 altogether, $299, $299. So, but you could drop $299 in a slot machine this month, and you could drop $299 in a slot machine next month, and not even give it a second thought. As a matter of fact, you've been looking forward to it. You can't wait to drop the $299 in a slot machine. You hope to win, but you already got the money to burn. You're already going. You hope not to be a loser. But do you see the difference? How easy it is for you to drop $299 in the slot machine with apprehension and foresight to look forward to it and have hope, maybe a win. Otherwise, you go home with your tail between your legs. You're okay with that. But to invest $299 in your knowledge, your brain power, your ability to make compensation, your ability to make a ton of money, I can't understand it. I really can't. I know it is the entrepreneurial spirit. It is that curse and gift that's holding us back. So I understand that. But what do I got to do to get you to invest in you? How can I encourage you? So I've learned that selling a product or a service is much easier than selling education. Because it takes a lot. People overanalyze and always come up with excuses as to why they won't take the step to do what they also want to do. Oh, you wanted to do it. You had the passion and desire. Oh, you kicked your butt for not doing it. You still got another chance to do it. You still come up with excuses to not do it. And off to the casino you go. All right. So again, as I said, ladies and gentlemen, you can have many, many good days at the casino if you can stop putting the $300 in the slot machine for 1 minute and take the $300 and invest in yourself to get a real estate license. You'll have a lot more 399s, 299s to drop in the slot machine with when you get the real estate license, ladies and gentlemen. So invest in yourself, get this real estate license. You are here. You're looking at my free class. Hopefully I didn't bore you, because that's exactly what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to show you that I can educate you in a way that is comprehensible. You can understand. It's plain language. It's not complicated language. It's broken down in such a way that you can understand it, and you didn't fall asleep on me. It didn't get boring, and you learned a few things that you didn't know. So it was a win-win situation all the way around. Our next class starts June 14th, ladies and gentlemen. June 14th, we offer 2 classes. I have a morning class, which is 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursdays, starting June 14th, 9 to 1, our morning class, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. So it'll be 4 weeks, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday for real estate practice, and then 4 weeks, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday for real estate fundamentals. So June 14th to July 7th for 1 class, and then July 19th to August 11th for the other class. Like I said, it's an 8-week class. So it's 4 weeks for real estate practice, 4 weeks real estate fundamental. And the reason that my classes are a little bit longer than the other classes is because of all the other lessons I'm going to be giving you. Learning how to run a real estate business, learning how to do real estate investment. So because I'm giving you all these other things, and I want to deprive you the education you're paying for. So I got to incorporate it to make sure that you're getting everything that you're paying for. So we made it 4-week classes, 4 weeks for real estate practice, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, 4 weeks real estate fundamental. I also run an evening class, 6 p.m. to 10 p.m., Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. You already know the things I'm going to be teaching you in my class. I've already bragged about it in this last hour. And as you now know, our next class starts June 14th. You now also know it's going to be by Zoom platform. So you're going to be part of my class. You'll get a link. We'll talk about how the Real Estate Commission, Harrisburg, has to have an attendance sheet, the screenshots, everything that we're going to do. It's going to be by a Zoom platform. You're going to have an ebook, which works out great for your homework assignments. You can order a manual if you would like the manual, if you're you like the hard copy for aesthetic purposes or historical purposes or souvenir purposes. You may do so, but that souvenir is going to cost you an extra $50. So because I have to order the manual, have it shipped to you, it's $50. You don't need it. You don't need to spend the $50. All you need is the $2.99 to get started, which will include your class material, the ebook. So the manual is available for you if you want one, but you don't need to spend the money. You don't need to buy it. So you need $2.99. Then the following month, it's Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, one more time for the following part, the second part, real estate practice, real estate fundamental. Then it's $2.99 for the second. I broke it up this way. Instead of charging you $5.98 all up front, I make it $2.99, $2.99. If you pay for the first class and you're not happy, you're not getting what you thought you were going to get, then you don't have to invest the $2.99 in the second part, saving you $299. So that's another benefit. So I broke it up this way. So some of you say, I don't have $600 to get started. Can we get started at half that? This is the way that I've done it. So you pay $2.99 to get started and include all your course material. And then the following month, when the second part of the class begins, you pay the $2.99 for the second. You also do have another option with me. If you like to pay both classes upfront, the $5.98, you will get a $50 discount, which just reminded me I owe a student $50. I've got to do that when we're done. You will get a $50 discount. I'll put $50 back onto your credit card or however you make the purchase, and you can get a $50 discount by paying for both classes up front, which is another option. Instead of paying $2.99, $2.99, you can do the $5.98 minus $50, so $5.48.
Okay, so June 14th is our next class. I'm looking forward, ladies and gentlemen, to see everybody in my class. I'm looking forward to making you a licensed real estate professional this year. And I'm looking forward to seeing everybody next Monday. You're welcome back to come back to the class again next Monday. Be safe, be healthy, be happy. God willing, I'll be seeing all of you soon in our future.